We have an update on John Cena's final match, plus a WWE Hall of Famer returned to Raw last night, and the newest member of The Vision seems to have been revealed. It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling news right now. Ooh, abadoo! You think that John Cena's tournament is going to be interesting, Sam Drive?
Well, I mean, it sort of has to be, doesn't it? It's the farewell for what they're billing as the greatest of all time. Mm-hmm. The poster is just Cena with GOAT in solid gold letters. So you've got to assume that they're going to put a lot of thought and effort into it. You'd hope. But it was obviously announced that it was going to be a 16-man tournament?
16-man tournament to fight for the right to end John Cena's life. It was confirmed on Saturday night's main event. That's how we're going to do it. The competitors in that tournament, we discovered last night on Raw, will be decided in a random fashion using a tumbler, like the good old days of the Royal Rumble.
It's like, it's like wrestling tradition. And then at the end of it, they can pull out all the names like Samoa Joe was in there, but we just didn't draw him. Kenny Omega was in there, but we just didn't draw him.
What can you do? So the first two matches were announced via the tumbler on last night's Raw. First two matches in this 16-man tournament. We'll see Rusev take on Damian Priest and Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Sheamus. Nick Aldis on SmackDown will draw another 4 names.
It's the tantalizing thing that he said, which is it might be people that don't even work here. That's the one people are waiting for. So it's like, how are we going to sort of do this? Is it going to be people from AAA? Is it going to be people from even further afield that aren't part of a working relationship? Tanahashi's in his retirement, and he was the John Cena of Japan. So get him in. Just do it. Joe Hendry's a shoe-in, man.
It's got to be Joe.
It's got to be Hendry.
He's got to be in there as well. So those are your first 4 names. I mean, in terms of, so they're obviously going to go with a wide plethora of people with history with John Cena, and some that don't. Rusev, of course, had that banger of a Mania match with Cena in which he came out in a big tank.
Yeah, I mean, it was certainly one of the greatest entrances of all time, I think.
Shinsuke Nakamura was in the... Cena was in the Final 4 in the Rumble that he won.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of history there. Obviously, Sheamus.
Yeah, they had a lot of back and forth.
A lot of back and forth. Won his first WWE title when Cena fell through a table. So there is a history there as well. So we're going to see a nice... And I hope they lean into sort of the history that some of these people have, or in some cases don't have.
I feel like we're going to see all these sort of moments before each match, almost like it's kind of what they did with the Cruiserweight Classic, where it's like introduces maybe part of the past between Cena and these people. Or it'll just be normal matches and it'll be like, it's Gunter and Gunter wins. Bye, John.
Bye, John. Gunter's beat you to a 5-pounder on the way out. We'll see how that shakes up on SmackDown this coming Friday. Meanwhile, last night on Raw as well, we had the return of a WWE Hall of Famer.
And he wasn't a very happy bunny. Rey Mysterio returned to Raw last night and had a confrontation with his own son, Dirty Dom. Dom verbally cut his father down, saying that he'd already greatly surpassed his father, but Rey hit back saying that, as long as I'm around, this isn't your ring, and you will not be the greatest Mysterio, like I am the greatest Mysterio. And it led to a bit of a back and forth between them, like a bit of a scrap, and then Rey hits the 619 on Dom, and then Dom manages to scurry away before Rey could follow up.
Yeah, it looks like they're gearing up for a Rey and Dom match at Survivor Series War Games, but I kind of feel like that there is so much money in doing a Triple A match for the Triple A title between Rey and Dom.
I think that, it's surely something they are going to do in Mexico at some point, because I imagine that would be huge, and especially if it's Rey challenging for the Mega Championship, then father versus son, Rey versus Dom for the biggest prize. Go for it.
The Cruiserweight Kings and the Prince go the Cruiserweights as well. So that's something they're building to on last night's Raw. Good to see Rey back. First time. I mean, he's popped up a couple of times at like Worlds Collide and things like that.
This was his first sort of active in-ring.
First bit of physicality.
He's not just an ambassador.
So this is leading to him getting back in the ring proper. Meanwhile, last night on Raw, we had CM Punk open as the new world champion. He thanked the fans. He was interrupted by Logan Paul. He was interrupted by the Vision, and it looked as if briefly we were going to see Paul and Punk fight side by side. Paul decided to leave, but then as he got shoved by Bron Breakker, it led to Paul coming back and getting a pound of flesh from the Bron Brons. Later on, in the main event of Raw, we had Jay and Punk versus the Vision, and when the dust settled on that one, Logan Paul returned again, and it was done quite well.
Well, it was sort of like a chair standoff, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was Punk stood with a chair, the Vision with a chair each, and then Logan Paul emerges from behind, and then he knocked out Punk.
Just cracked him right in the face. Then we see Logan Paul hand his brass knucks to Paul Heyman, which leads us to believe, Sam Driver, that this is Logan Paul joining the Vision.
And I think that I feel like I'm an idiot for not thinking of doing this sooner. Because obviously they keep saying he's the future of wrestling. He's the future of wrestling. I know that it's not going to make a lot of people very happy, but I think that heading into Survivor Series, you've got somebody who always likes to have spectacle moments in crazy matches. And what is War Games if not the craziest of matches?
Yeah, and I think Logan Paul getting in there to basically sort of replace Seth Rollins, that means they can kind of carry on the story that they're doing. I think that it's having Logan Paul in that Seth Rollins type role.
Well, this is it.
I
think had he not handed the brass knuckles to him, it would be more like, oh, I'm just in alliance with you. But the fact that he's handed the knuckles over to Heyman's like, yeah.
You're taking control of my career.
Yeah.
Basically, it's kind of the impression that we got from that. The opening segment of Raw, which saw Punk and the Bron Brons and Logan Paul, caused a nightmare for WWE writers.
Yeah, apparently it went 10 minutes and they were scrambling backstage to deal with it. So, they got to make up time on live broadcast. It can be very difficult, so they're having to shave stuff off everything else, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it's one thing for it to go like 1 or 2 minutes long, but going 10 minutes longer than expected is what caused all kinds of bother. But they seem to figure it out. They seem to get to the main event.
It was one of those sort of it was good, but it was one of those meandery segments where it was like, and then another thing, and then another thing, and it was all right.
Interesting, because obviously they put the world title on Punk this past Saturday, and when I saw Logan Paul hand the brass knucks, I thought he's replacing Seth Rollins in this picture, and I went, do they make Logan Paul the world champion?
It's going to happen at some point.
I mean,
it's going to happen at some point, and I think we've all been bracing for that sort of impact for quite some time, so it is going to happen. You've just got to kind of make peace with it if you're not a fan of him.
I feel like they might. Yeah, I think you're right. Because I think one of those things where whether you like the guy or whether you don't, and believe me, there is compelling evidence to not like the guy. But what you've got there is somebody who's taken to wrestling like a duck to water.
Yeah.
Just really owned it in the ring. So if he hadn't come from the background that he come from, you probably would go, yes, sod it, push him, make him world champ.
But it sort of leads me to question, is this going to remain like a trio if he is officially joining, or are they going to keep adding members? Are we going to see more and more younger talent be factored into the Vision?
There was some conversations about maybe Ethan Page joining them, but I think since Ethan Page won the AAA mixed tag titles with Chelsea Green over the weekend,
apparently she's been lobbying to sort of get him up, which means they'd probably be working together.
Yeah. I don't think he'll be doing that, but there's talk of Austin Theory being in the mix there as well. So whether or not they add Austin Theory into the war, because they'll need an extra person for the War Games match. The rumor was that Austin Theory would be included in the Vision at some point.
Then that same rumor was like, and Brock Lesnar, definitely Brock Lesnar.
Definitely Brock Lesnar.
So it was like, it might be a bit skew-if now.
We will keep an eye on it. You need to keep an eye on our Twitch. Are you on Twitch tonight?
I am on Twitch tonight. I'll be playing something. It's Wildcard Wednesday, so Wildcard Tuesday. Sorry, I'm so used to it being on a Wednesday.
That's how wild a Wildcard is. A Wildcard Wednesday is so wild.
No, Wildcard Tuesday, we've been playing some spooky games and we didn't quite get around to finishing one of them, so we might do some more spooky sort of Halloween hangover stuff. But come along 5 o'clock and we'll see what I'm up to.
And for the very latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.